Cheers. Good morning. Oh, that coffee is good. Yeah. What's on the list of things to do? Well, it's Wednesday, so it's a good day to plan something that's been on the list. You can throw it on the burners, sort of. So yeah, gonna make my containers for my ginger, turmeric, and I'm gonna move some soil to my rooftop garden, dig some sunchokes, and new Ola Amaponian. Yeah, so what's on your list of things to do? Sue me, good morning. Thank you for being here. And today's topic is good coffee, organic beans, very good coffee in glass. Things to do today and next week. That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to plant some amaryllis. I ended up being gifted amaryllis, so I'm going to plant that, the queen. Been gifted these. So I already put them in containers, but I like to boost them outside in about a month, maybe a month and a half. When it just starts coming spring, it comes spring around here a little bit early. But yeah, time for a second cup. Yeah. Well, this is yeah. It's pretty hot still, but gonna dig some sunchokes today because tomorrow I can give away like 150, 200 pounds. I can give away a lot tomorrow. So if I started today and I've got friends coming over and family being here, we all chip in and dig the sunchokes. They can be gifted. It's the right time of year to do that. They've lost a lot of their gas out of them because it's become cold. So that's when they become edible. Well, they're always edible, but if you're not initiated, then you're being initiated, you could have problems. Well, first of all, sue me. I leave my sunchokes in the ground. I had a girlfriend called Amaryllis, a really beautiful girl. Oh, that's not wonderful. Amaryllis means queen. I prepare mine in several ways, the sunchokes. And the first thing I do is I leave them until it's been cold for a couple of months. I don't touch them. I mean, I can eat like one fresh one or a half of one and get used to it. But it's really packed with a lot of fiber. It's called inulin in it. So it's really great for lowering your glucose. That being said and done, they're great for soup, curry soup, chopped really fine. The curry seems to mellow out everything. A little bit of sea salt in that soup, curry powder, you know, and just boil them up and have them just like that. I like roasting them when after the fire's gone down, just put a lot bunch on the coals and just eat the inside. So you cook one side and you flip it and then you just kind of squeeze it and then all this paste like comes out, like a pate kind of thing that tastes nutty, squashy, potatoey, sort of. Yeah. So that's some ways of doing it. I fry them in a pan too, in beef tallow or lard or olive oil. You can fry them in a pan, and you can also season them. You can actually put like a crisp to them. Yeah, inulin is great fiber for diabetes, sweet but not digested as a sugar. That's why it causes gas. Yeah. Mr. Thielen, good morning. Good morning, Wild Edibles. And so I'm picking some of those today and doing a few chores. I'm filling up some bins for growing ginger and turmeric and that kind of thing because it'll be getting warm soon. And I'm just going to start stuff in the potter here just to get it sprouted, just to pop it out into the containers out where the driveway is. There's a lot of radiant heat. There's actually too much there at times. So what I do is I put a pallet there and then I put my lemon tree on top of the pallet in the shade to harden it off. But I grew lemongrass. That's another one that I'm growing this year. But I'm going to grow a lot of watermelon. I really like watermelon. It's very healthy for earthlings. It has citrulline in it, and the body, human body, converts that to arginine, and then the arginines convert it to nitric oxide, which is all part of vasodilation. So I'm going to be doing that. Those are things that I like to do, and I'll also. I went and looked at my trees. There's not a lot of pruning to be done. Like, I looked at them and I went, no, I'm just going to leave everything. So 4 months. 4 months. What's 4 months? On my list, pay some more on bills and go shopping. The carbon tax rebate is in if you get it, Canadians. I don't get it. I don't get anything. I'm trying to manage a little bit of money. I think it will be good till the end of the month. Yeah, the simpler things are, the better off you are. That's for sure. BC don't get it. Oh, I don't see anything from the government. If anything, they send me a bill. Pay your land taxes, pay your income tax. There, see you later. Yep. Imagine when I get to 65, it'd be easier for me to get all my pensions then. That'll be nice. But until then, you got to take care of business. And that's just the way it is. Trying to manage a little bit of money. I think it will be good till the end of the month. You should be okay there, Wild. You make out real well. Laugh out loud. Sorry if I can't find them. I can plant sunchokes in about 4 months. Yeah. So plant them on the outside of the perimeter of the property. And that's where you want them to go wild there. So you can always go and get 100 pounds or 200 pounds when you want it, eh? And it's growing on the edge of the property, property line. That's where, and that creates a much more privacy barrier. And they'll grow in between all the trees and little shrubs and stuff. And that's what I do. I mean, and I create this wall. I create this wall all the way around. Build the wall. Yeah, I get them too. Oh, I'm getting into the organic coffee really soon. Ran out of coffee, but I put that away. Well, good for you. It's the sooner you use it, the better off it'll taste. Coffee goes rancid after a while, but beans stay beans in a if they're inside of like. I forgot what that's called, but it doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. The package that it came in, that's Cup of Joe. Caveman didn't tell me that we ran out of cheap coffee last night. Yeah, I actually have cheap coffee like in containers, like containers and containers of it that I don't use. And I noticed that it is coming out of date. So I'm going to give it away to the homeless encampment. I'll be replacing that soon. And there's quite a few, like it's already ground coffee because, after SHTF, you're not going to be sitting there grinding your coffee. I'll guarantee you that. You're going to be digging your little first thing you learn in the military is you dig a foxhole. That's for you, boy. That's your protection after SHTF. That's how I look at things. Once SHTF happens, I don't want to be grinding coffee. I don't care about ground coffee. I mean, I do, but I haven't got time for that. There's a lot of other things to have concerns about and that will need attention. I have Swiss chard sprouts coming up in my indoor garden. Nice. They like really cold temps, or maybe not cold, but definitely cool. That's why I put the good beans away so I have it. I run out. Yeah, that's about the best coffee that I can find. There are comparable coffees, but not quite as good as that one. That one's got a creamy coffee texture to it. I buy it on sale. Like it's not it's not something that you just buy because you'll be paying a hell of a lot of money. And the weird thing is if you take a few goji berries and put it in that cup of Joe coffee with the organic bean and you grind it and it's just like drinking Kona coffee. It has a fruity taste. It's like, holy moly, man. It's really nice. So yeah, it's a nice coffee. Grind coffee between rocks. It would be quicker than finding and plugging in the grinder. Yeah. Caveman, okay. No, that's why. Okay. Coffee usually okay till you open it, then you need to use it. Mr. Thielen, I agree 150%. Coffee will go rancid after a year or two even in the freezer. I find that's ground. Beans might last a bit longer, but and depending on the bean too. You know, there's different coffee beans. They're not all the same, and they're not all grown the same either. And Sue, I have Swiss chard sprouts. That's really nice. Yeah, yeah. So that's on the agenda today is replace the I guess I'll do the coffee thing because I have to go to the big box store and get propane anyway. I've been looking over biodigesters, hey, siphoning off the gas off of that, but I haven't pulled the trigger on any of that yet, but it's a possibility. This thermostat is set for max 65, so I think the chard will like the cool for the next. Yeah, that's pretty good. You're below room temperature. That's very good. One brand is so acidity. I can't drink it. It's the cheapest coffee on sale, but it's not cheaper if you can't drink it. Yeah, there's some of them I try and I'm like, no. And no, an instant coffee is an absolute forget it. I'm not doing it unless I'm on top of Mount Everest, and that's all there is. And then I might smell the coffee, maybe. I'm fussy when it comes to my coffee. I have to grind my own beans. And keeping coffee beans on hand is not an easy task because the price can fluctuate and mostly it fluctuates up, but every now and then you can get really good coffee for a reasonable price. Like the organic coffee at the big box stores suck. It's nowhere near what I can go and buy somewhere else. It just no. And then all the other brands that are already ground up. My buddy's like, did you know that they grind up like 20% wheat, little wheat seeds and whatever, right into the coffee, and it looks like it's all this. You see those white peas, and I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, people cheat at making coffee, and I'm like, that's why I buy beans. Forget it. Yeah, I think there's something else in it. I would drink tree tea. I won't drink that. One hurts my belly. It doesn't like it. Yeah, something's wrong. I noticed that with an orange that I ate one time. I felt terrible. And then I found out where they came from and how they were basically living in pollution. Yeah, I can't have wheat. It hurts my belly. Well, you know, a lot of folks have that. It's a high carb. So you have to burn it off, hey, you know, or it gets plugged up in the mitochondria. Simple as that. Normal good branded coffee is $30 a kilo. That's 1.2 pounds. That's 2.4 pounds. So yeah, that's pretty good price. That's a pretty good price. That's up there. That's comparable to around here. But I shop around. I was at a store yesterday and it said, "Oh, organic coffee," and I won't say the name and all this. And I had it before, and I'm like, I didn't feel right after drinking it, and I gave it away. So I'm not buying it again, even though it was a different batch and whatever. No, $30 and it was a giant bag of organic coffee. And I thought, you know what? It just doesn't look right. Even a no-name brand is better, no problem with it. I know, I like no-name brand butter. It really tastes like butter. You know, like, oh, I love it when it tastes buttery. You haven't waited, but when you sit there and you can't smell it, and then it sits there and it doesn't go bad for 10 years, there's something wrong with that butter. It's like, so I did a little digging with a friend, which is totally like he goes through everything and every place to learn. And he come back, it was quite a while ago now. He's like, yeah, they're feeding them palm oil to get richer milk and butter. I'm like, palm oil? He's like, yeah, palm oil. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. And he shows me all this stuff that he's gathered up on it. That's bloody palm oil. Palm oil's not the greatest for you. Nowhere near it. I agree. Fully yellow one is good. Yeah. The no name brand at the big box store there of it's really good butter. I to get that taste, I have to get like grass fed, free range from New Zealand or something like that, or even Australia's got some really nice butter too. Good Eats Homestead, welcome, welcome, welcome. I got 7-Eleven coffee beans cheap, just out of date. Well, coffee's coffee, and it's beans, so yeah, it's not some added stuff because when you buy ground coffee already, there's stuff added in there. Okay, wild edibles, Lantancia. One has too much milk solids. It burns everything. Huh. Good Eat says good morning and to chat. Sometimes corner stores are cheaper. I like good butter too. Well, you know what? You've got to find out where the discount rack is, and you got to find out where you can get marked down items. And if you have to go and search, that's part of the mystery. So I know exactly every little farm stand on this peninsula, and I know where every discount rack for veggies are and where they discount wild fish or free range beef. I've got it mapped out. You have to. But again, you're doing some sort of, or of trust there. You're trusting people. That's almost treacherous in itself. I like good butter too. Yeah, you got to have good butter. If there's coffee, I drink, but I don't remember the coffee if I don't see it. I'm a podium. Fifi, good morning. Good morning, Fifi. Hello to everyone in the chat. Yes, good morning. I loved your video on all your tropicals and subtropicals and how you were protecting them and shielding them. Shows that you love them. And I was impressed with that. You don't see too many people actually do what you do. Hey, there's a few of you around somewhere, but I mean, that was impressive. I was just like, kind of reminds me of meal. I like to bring in my bananas and my lemons and oranges. I just bring them in. Yeah, because you're fighting that for a couple months. They're here anyway. They don't like getting cold. I miss homemade butter. It's so yummy. Oh, so do I. I just started doing it again, but it might be more money. Maybe try. Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to pay to get healthy. What's your health worth? Everything you got. Good Eats Homestead saying good morning to Fifi. Organic butter about $8.50 for 250 grams. Wow, that's like less than half a pound. It's hard to find cheap, but don't worry about date. It lasts for years. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but again, oils become rancid. And you may not taste it because you have a lot of salt in your butter or something like that. But I only keep butter around in the freezer from fresh, frozen, and then take it out when you need it. But it can last quite a while as long as it has salt in it. You're quite right there, Mr. Thielen. I fed my citrus some Epsom salt a few days ago. It's greening up again. Well, good morning, Bill, and rewarding me with new growth Start Long. Starlong. Oh, nice. Starting. Okay, starting. I got you, Bill. Yeah. Thanks. It's my Caribbean background zone 6B. I couldn't believe 6B. I'm like, oh man, you're our adventure. Wow. Like, you got to check that out there, Bill, at Newfound Drone Production. Bill kind of he has a crush on citrus trees, much like myself. And yeah, they're just adorable and smell so nice. And citrus is everything. Yeah. But Fifi put hers inside, Bill, and she has a little lighting system and took them in from outside where it's too cold. Yeah. Yeah. They smell good. Time to get my day rolling. Have a good one, everyone. Yeah, sue me. Take care. Blessings to you. Cheers. Yeah. Mm. But the things to do, it's Wednesday, so I'm digging sunchokes today and I'm putting some soil. I'm sifting my own soil, and it'll have weeds in there. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm just I'm just want to get the soil all ready into the containers. Like I make totes full and I'll strain it out of my pathway soil bank. So I get this really fine, fluffy soil that's just packed full of nutrients, and you can pretty much spit on it. And so my lion's mane's come back the second time. It comes back another time after that too. And it's about this big now. But I had a good bunch of scoffs from that. I'll tell you, it was delicious. But I noticed the coral mushrooms have come out in the back of a patch, and it looks just like coral. And I'm like, oh, there's the coral mushroom. Yeah. Good night, wild edibles. Good night. What? I'm on the listening mode, so good night. Okay, good night, Mr. Thielen. Thank you for being here. Thank you, and thank you. Yeah, yeah. Always give thanks, hey? It really helps. I give thanks every day and a blessing every day. I that's just me. And I hug a tree every day, and I plant a tree up, scale it up, put it in a bigger pot or wash it, or like today I'm putting out the plants out on my balcony and giving them the rainwater, but I've got to pull the rainwater barrel a little bit ahead. I put a new downspout down off the roof onto it, and it's just beautiful. It's right there. And I'm like, oh, and I can take it off and just feed the food, or put it on and just feed the food forest if my barrel is, and it's just a small little string holding it. It's like, it's very simple. It's like, yeah, that's that's the way to do it. Mr. Knight. Good morning, Dave Knight. And just talking about the things to do. Well, you don't need to. You got it all done there. Go over and check out Dave Knight's hothouse greenhouse. It's pretty badass, man. I was impressed. Yeah, he's got it going on, and he's producing food in the middle of winter in Ontario. Yeah. So whether you're in the North Pole or the equator or the South Pole, get your greenhouse going. Gitros family, Gitros family farm. Thank you, Cons, for being here. Good morning. Snow has lots of nitrogen. Yeah, a ton. -10, it's a struggle. I don't know. You seem to be doing all right there, boss. You're doing pretty good. Good morning, Wild Edible says. Nah, I mean, come on, it's pretty impressive. The more compost that you're doing, or pathway soil bank building that you're doing around your greenhouse, that's going to warm the ground there, hey. Especially fresh live stuff, hey. There's a temperature there, something to think of, something to take advantage of, making a microclimate happen through decomposition. So yeah, something to think about. I've done that. It's fun. Yeah. It's not going to be a huge temperature jump, but it's going to be some. And yeah, and even rocks, the rocks are radiant heat. They'll hold heat. If they warm up, they'll hold heat after it cools down too, quite some time. Water, yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Good Eats Homestead. It's freezing, looks like. There's some kind of icicle snow thing. Oops, I swore. Barrels of water. That'll do it, because you know what? It'll be a different temperature. You're right, Bill. I've seen that too. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then those small little wood stoves like you see in them hot tents. What's wrong with putting one of them on for a couple of weeks? What's wrong with putting those big tube, or those big Christmas lights, the tall ones that give off a little heat? So what? It costs $3, $4, $5 a month to run it in there on your tropicals or subtropicals. That's what a guy here does. I've done that too, and one of my best students is doing that, and they're quite successful. They get a lot of lemons. I have to stop in there today too. Guy's having a rough time. There's Mama. Oh, I don't know. He's having it rough. She's really ill. And you can see he's haggard when you see him. He's like really haggard over it. She's a pretty intelligent person, but she's lost all motor skills. But she's very intelligent. A lot more than most I ever met. Good morning from Fifi to Guidros Family Farm. I might be butchering that, but I'm sorry. Snow around the base of the greenhouse helps keep the cold out. Absolutely. Insulation is insulation. Yeah. You just have to take care of a small bit, like a small greenhouse. It's really easy to keep it going. And it's rewarding too. It's very rewarding when you get a harvest of food and you know where that food came from. It's not radiated or glyphosated or whatever. It's real stuff. It's just really nice to eat decent food. Yeah, I had a troll yesterday troll my channel, and they left comments that about how I was cooking my food. It wasn't right and all this. And then I reckon this is a troll, right? They want a response, right? So I just went, here's my response, delete. So I deleted it. I'm not, mess around about it. Yeah. You're back, Bill. You sound like you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. I lost connection. Oh, okay. It's a sci-fi. You're actually saying the name correctly. Oh, thank you kindly. I try to mention everybody's name as best I can. But today it's cut the stalks off the sunchokes. They've grown like 12, 15 feet tall, so it's made kind of this brownie like wall. So before I dig out of the mound that's on the outside of the perimeter. I'm going to be removing that debris, so then you'll be able to see in and out of the property until it starts growing again in the spring, and then it shores it all up again. It's kind of neat. Good morning, Mother Earth Garden Club. And so the sunchokes make privacy. They make underground hidden food. If I wanted to hide that food, I just take away all the stalks and just leave it. Unless you knew it was there, you wouldn't look there for it. It's kind of like that SHTF or food and you can do that to potatoes too. Any underground food like oca, dongjing, anything like that, like oca, that comes in several different kinds. And yak cone can be left here too because it's so mild. Unless it freezes, that just keeps growing. I agree. Sunchokes hide stuff. Oh yeah, it hides that noise level that comes from outside the perimeter in. So when you plant the sunchoke, it creates a nice, beautiful green wall. But see, goats love that sunchokes, the green part. They love it. The deer come here and eat it. And I like that. And then it spreads out more and more, and it creates this massive wall that's very difficult to get through. It's not thorny, it's just thick. And it's like, yeah, I like that. And it's on the outside of the perimeter where you can allow it just to roam because it'll do that. It'll just keep multiplying unless you're utilizing them. So today and tomorrow, I'll be digging out probably anywhere between 100, 150, 200 pounds of those with friends. And it'll all be ready for the food bank. They can just take it away. Those people know what to do with it, hey? Now, I was asked last week, if I had any. I only had this little container ready to go. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I've got this. I didn't really make a big dent in it, which I have to do. And it's fun, too. It's like a treasure hunt. Fifi's Urban Homestead and Lifestyle says, thanks for mentioning, Howie. This is why I think root crops are extremely important to always have in the ground. It can be hidden and don't need intervention for preserving. Exactly. Especially if you got to get through them hunger gaps. You know that storage is there. And unless you're familiar with that plant and know where it's growing, you wouldn't be looking for it once the debris is gone. But also when it's green like that, you can cut a bunch back and put it in a loose bundle and put it where it's going to dry. And that's good fodder for bunny rabbits to deer, goats, chickens, whatever you got. Pest Hunter Outdoors, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, sunchokes, underground food, on the ground food, and then the vertical food. Okay, there's 3 places to that food will stay. Now, some more than others, like underground food, like here, I can leave potatoes. But you dig a hole in the ground, put a box there and a lid on it. You can put in squash in there as long as you're down below that freezing level. The first like foot or so, there's freezing, and then underneath that, you can put a small cellar. You don't need a big cellar to look after you and your family. You just need a small one, right? Good morning. Okay. Mother Earth Garden Club. How do you eat sun? I imagine you were trying to spell sunchoke. So there's many ways. Yes, I figured that there, Mother Earth. There are many ways to eat the sunchoke, but there's only one right way. And like for preparation of the sunchoke, must have a couple of months of cold temps. Unless you're used to eating it raw, and there are a lot of people like that. And but I make sunchoke chips, and then those same chips I'll throw a bunch into like a curry soup and some sea salt and pepper, and then baking them on high heat for say 15, 20 minutes. And when they're mushed, that's when they taste really good. You can make like a pate for a cracker, and you can add stuff too. You can add even smoked salmon to cream cheese, or just, I like it just like that. But people like to get all fancied up. I'm okay with that. I'm not doing it. But I just basically put them on hot coals too. When I go camping, I'm supposed to go on a winter camp here with and so we all go out and do winter camping and have a look around. And anyway, they want to throw some sunchokes in the ground there and other things. I'm like, okay. So I'll bring along a bunch for there and to eat, and I'll bring a bunch of my herring to eat and for bait from shore. So it should be interesting. It's a private time, so it's really not a lot of video going on. I've been there before, and it's very limited unless you go off by yourself through the wilds, which is quite likely with me. But I mean, setting up camp in the wintertime is not easy. It's not easy at all. But yeah. Scotty, hello. Hey, Minty Cactus, good morning. Yes, yes, happy day to you as well. I rarely eat salmon. It's very expensive. Do sunchokes have low glaze? Oh yeah, it's very low. It's actually, you can buy it, the inulin that's made from sunchokes for what you're talking about there. Yeah, you can buy it. I have several containers of it. It doesn't go bad. And I put a little bit in the water once in a while if I need to up my fiber. And it'll say right on there that it's for diabetics. The inulin powders comes right out. And I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. But they're extremely good for extremely low carb, high fiber. It's not like a potato where you got to leave it for to get a different starch to it. It doesn't, that's not necessary. The big thing about it is learning. You pretty much have to be a chef to learn all the different things you can do with a sunchoke, because it's not an easy thing to learn, but it's just that it's foreign. But once you get used to it, you'll recognize it growing wild. You're like, oh yeah, those are sunchokes over there. But that's when you pull out your notebook and go, oh yeah, I was on this industrial area, commercial area, or park, and I've seen this much of sunchokes. So they're there in the ground. Hey, it's very important to have a notebook, so then you can pretty much list what you're going to do today. Pretty much going to price the PVC piping for a greenhouse today, plastic. I got to do some banking. I got to dig out some sunchokes, and I got to put some sifted soil in some fairly large containers, because I want to be ready for my turmeric and lemongrass and my ginger growing. Yeah, I actually buy ginger now. I just gave my last piece out yesterday because there was a bunch of people there cooking, and they wanted a piece of ginger, and I said, I just have this last piece, right? And they're like, oh, that'll do. And I'm like, you know how hard it is to get a piece of bloody ginger in Canada that's local, buddy? You know? So I gave it up, but I sure didn't want to. No, I didn't at all. I'm growing ginger now. Nice. Yeah, you can start it off in the house in a container and then pop it outside. Any place like that. It grows really good. Turmeric too, and lemongrass too. You can go to the store and buy some lemongrass and then just plant it, and it just grows big bunches. You know, the lady a few houses over, she's from a country that lemongrass grows wild, and I was like, oh well, that's probably answers a lot why you have a lot of lemongrass, because she had like mounds of lemongrass. I was impressed. I was like, wow. Everybody grows something, and if they don't, well, they're going to be mighty hungry. I'm not giving my last piece. I'm not that nice. Sorry, not sorry. Well, the organic ginger here you can buy, but I wouldn't buy that stuff from like Asia. That stuff's great full of chemicals. That's why it looks so huge and stuff. Don't eat that. Whatever bloody hell, don't eat that. You buy the ginger like from Hawaii. I like, and it's just pretty much, there's no skin on it. It's like soft. They grow it here in greenhouses. And then about this time of year, they harvest a ton of it after the grass starts dying back, like the leafy part. And then you can go to like the Root Cellar and a few other places and get fresh local ginger. It's like, wow. But they charge, it ain't cheap, but it's so, you can just eat it. It's how mild it is. Hey, it's like, oh, wow. Lewis, welcome. I have to go to Costco to stock up on things I can't grow. Toilet paper, laundry. So yeah. We all do, Dave. But you will learn to adapt and improvise, like CR says, if you can't go to the big box store. Yeah, Lewis has got turmeric growing. Nice. I even have some horseradish. Yep, I have horseradish growing too in many places. Yep, they look so unreal. The huge ginger just don't look right. No, they're not, Fifi. Buddy, hell, they don't. That doesn't happen. That's fed. That's chemically fed. I can assure you of that. That ain't normal. No bloody way. Even the organic ginger grown in greenhouses here ain't that big. But what it does have is a very tender skin on it. It's beautiful. Absolutely. I grow horseradish for fire cider. Yeah. Nice horseradish. Yeah, I have that in several locations throughout the food forest. I have arrowroot growing throughout the food forest, sunchokes, dongjing. It's like a little tuber, and whatever grows underneath the ground that wants to live there, I leave it. And if it doesn't rot, then I know it's there. So then there's on the ground food, which are cool weather crops. And you can get many of those in succession crops. And then there's the hot weather crops, which you really only get one. You get to plant it, and you can't keep planting it because there's not enough time for it to grow. So because when you're growing cool weather crops, like say radishes, boom, 3 weeks later, you have your radish. If you don't have your radish in the most 4 weeks, you're doing something wrong. I grow horse, yeah. But what you're doing, make sure you have your list of what you're up to. Me, it's pretty simple. I've been doing it for so long. I know exactly what I have to do. I don't need to make a list and a diagram of this and that and get phone apps. And I don't need any of that. I've been doing this. I can do this blindfolded and in a wheelchair. I still can do it. It's just growing a bit of food, and it's just a matter of getting started. And that's key, is getting started, maintaining that all the way through. If you try to grow too much, you kind of don't do well. So you just grow a few tomatoes, a few cucumbers, a few squash, a few, like I'm only going to grow like 5 containers for ginger. And same with turmeric, maybe less, probably 3 containers. And those are big tote containers with my own soil. And then I'm moving, so I have to grow some flowers too. Hey, I kind of committed myself to growing flowers for a wedding. So I keep my word, but the list keeps growing bigger and bigger. I'm like, okay. I mean, I have a lot of long stem roses, but I don't think I have enough for a wedding. So I'll have to buy a bunch of roses from like Walmart or something, and just plant a row. There you go. Long stemmers, like, tea roses and stuff. Flowers bringing the pollinators. Yeah, I grow a lot of flowers here. Here's one right here that I got given to me, gifted. An amaryllis. Just planted these yesterday. Yeah. It had everything right into the kit. Speaking about flowers, I can't wait for the irises to bloom. Yeah. There's not much medicinal use to iris, that I know of. But they look great for a while. They do. I like the fleur de lis from Quebec, the short little tiny blue ones. Those are my favorite. Fifi, same with me. I choose what I want to grow and the timing of planting them to get the most production in my short season. I even ordered my meat turkeys already to be delivered in April. Smart. I have amaryllis that are like 20 years old. So do I. They're really cool. They keep coming back year after year. Bees love them. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So your turkeys, I'm getting meat birds. I'd like to have a couple of turkeys here, but I have to be careful. It's a sensitive neighborhood here. You go planting a tree on the boulevard and you could get yanked here. It's like, you know, nobody really grows a lot of food here. I've been encouraging it. I've been changing lawns into food gardens, and some people have increased somewhat and others have excelled somewhat. They could do a lot more, but I don't have a magic wand making them do it. Yeah, iris are toxic, but one of my favorite flowers. Yeah, you don't eat those. One of the few things that keeps the deer away. Yeah. I sat out in summer and hummingbirds like amaryllis. Yeah. Yeah, when I put out my citrus, all the amaryllis come up and bloom, and there's usually like the secret garden lady up the street there. She has a secret garden that's to die for. I mean, oh my God. So I bring them flowers, like they like it. I love turkeys. I would love to have them again, quiet but can fly. Okay, not always quiet. Yeah. All you need is that one neighbor that just doesn't get good sleep at night, and they call up the local bylaw, and after that it'll be like about 200 visits to your property in a year. They'll come every second day. This is for you. This is the new complaint. This is best. Just avoid all that and just buy your free range turkey and give someone $100, because and then same thing with roosters here. The first cockle doodle doo, boom, you're gone. Yep, someone will just pellet hunt them or something like that. I mean, down the road here at the golf course, there was a deer there at the edge of the golf course over the sign says coming into the golf course. Here's a deer laying there with an arrow stuck in him. Really? How's that work at the golf course? Nothing was ever done about it. A lot of the deer here disappear. I become friends with, and they just gone. I don't mind deer hunting. I mean, that's a norm with me. But if they're pets and they're not bothering you, you know, don't be just sticking them with an arrow and letting them die. You track down that animal, and you know, it was crying shame to see. It was a few years back, but it happened. Can you imagine all the ones that you never see? If you're seeing that one, right? They can be so friendly and follow you along. Oh yeah, they come here. The mother will leave the little one here, even though there's a couple little dogs and a cat here. She doesn't. She has that one little grassy spot, and then that's where she'll sit with that. And she's left them there year after year. And eat it. Don't waste it. Yeah. Can you tell I don't care about whose feelings are hurt over my operation? I'm growing food for my family. Well, you know what? If someone gets butt hurt, there's nothing you can do about mental health with somebody. And there's always a certain degree. Now, when you get a troll, yesterday someone trolled my Digby scallops. They didn't like them, cooked them too long, and they looked mushy. Well, I can guarantee you they were delicious. And my dinner date that was here just thought they were the best. And she is a scallop connoisseur, but still the troll, they'll do that. We can hear you eating this one quite a while ago. She's like, I can hear your lips smacking. I'm like, yeah, it's called mastication, and I like to do that because that brings up digestive juices. So, you know, but they're just trolling you. They put these little blips in, and it's interesting. So yeah, it's interesting that people, no matter what you do, they're going to find a problem with it, and that's just the way it is. But you know what? take a lot to get me butthurt. A lot. Yes, they are so affectionate, but I don't let them because I'm eventually going to eat them. Yeah, exactly. But I have one layer turkey that I've had for almost 4 years. Cool. Yeah, turkeys do roost really high. Howie, that's why we have a block button. Exactly. I don't use the block button unless you're racist or you're a bigot or something like that. Definitely, if you're racist, you're freaking gone. I'll block you. I'll actually report your ass. and then bigots. I don't like bigots or hypocrites or trolls. And you know what is the degree of the malevolency. And if it's a high degree of malevolency that I see, that will elevate me to pursue something forward. And I have had that. And even today, there's pursuant to what's happened before. So, you know, rest well. Howie, that's why we have yep. Some people don't know what to do with their precious time. I know, right? That's, I say that all the time. They don't know they're here and they're wasting their little bit of precious time they got. And it's like, holy crap. And you see it, and it's like, oh, thank God I'm not like that, man. The farmer sold the ones I raised. They were too friendly. Exactly, right? So that's what happens with when you're looking after your little piece of this earth to scrape out some food and maybe even perhaps a living. You're going to have all kind of people that want to cause you a problem. It's just gonna happen. And the thing is how you handle it. And like I said, I got it's called a degree and level of malevolency. If they're highly malevolent, and I see it over and over and over, and even if I see it one time, my flag's up. But if I see it over and over, then it's without doubt, right, who you are. Yeah. Yeah, and I found that out the hard way. What you're doing now is what counts. Who gives a shit about yesterday or the future? What the hell are you doing right now? That's what counts when it comes to surviving, thriving, and having a good freaking time. What are you doing now? And that's what the name of this live stream was. The things what you're up to do now. And yep. Mother Earth, I'm sitting here multitasking and listening to Howie and providing a lap for my two little doggies. Good for you, sunshine. Good for you. And that's what it's all about, having a good time. If you're not having a good time, you shouldn't do it. Get out of there. Whatever you got to do, march. Simple as that. There's in wherever I've lived, there's always been a dynamic in the community, whether and it can be like all these different things going on and these different types of people and what's acceptable and how much you're going to take, right? And in some communities here, it's abhorrent, and like some of the communities here, and some other ones are live the life of hiding, or live the life of a gangster. There's every little village within a village. That's what I've found here. It's like the Twilight Zone here. 1 minute it's this, the next minute it's not. And God forbid if you've stepped on some of the locals' toes, you're going to have, you can get into vicious gossip, rumoring, fear mongering. I've seen it all. Yeah. In this community and any other community, they're not much different. It's all in how you live and where you live. Like if you live in a rich neighborhood, you'll never know your neighbors unless you go to the same church or something like that, or the same bazaar, or you go for walks on the street. Then you bump into people that you know. Other than that, like where I live, I don't ever see anybody go to work, or they're all consultants and bureaucrats and lobbyists. You don't see them do anything. I don't see them do anything. But they'll come knocking when they ain't got nothing, I'll tell you that. Have you seen a program from PBS called My Life as a Turkey? It is a very good watch. I'll check that out. When the farmer got the older turkeys, a couple of them, I was picking up the spring cabbage in the yard. The turkeys were free ranging. Nice. There's the full episode. Well, thanks for the link there, Pest Hunter Outdoors. They followed me around. Sounds like they were saying, turkey, turkey. Are you calling me turkey? Keep saying it after that. Exactly. Turkey is a big animal, and smoked turkey is nothing to laugh at. If that would feed a person a long, long time. There's so many uses to it. And being smoked, it's extra flavorful. I like hickory, cherry, alder, birch, that kind of thing, apple, yeah, wood. I have a nice pile of wood. I can just cut off some little short rounds with my electric saw and then just put it in the pan and turn the smoker. Boom. I guess I look like a huge turkey picking up garbage in the yard. Well, turkey is a big bird. Ostriches are a lot bigger and they're tasty too. Just a big turkey. Of course, it's a $20,000 bird, so be careful if you're eating your ostrich. Some of them are quite expensive. Not all. You can get an ostrich egg for a good price. I'll check that out, Pest Hunter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, turkey. Yeah, I'll be back. I go over my live stream and I'll go and I'll check it out then. I'm not going to check it out right now, but I'm trusting you that that's what's there. Because one time I was on YouTube many years ago, like 9 or 10 years ago, and you trust people, but then they put up stuff that was a link to a really bad thing. And this is a family channel. It's I didn't see it coming. And it was on my Earth Day, and all these goofs that I was hanging out with, I didn't know who they were, and they did that just to be a shithead. I mean, took no talent at all. Hey, I thought, you know what? I learned I don't trust people like that. And you don't know who's who on YouTube. They could say, oh, they're gardening this, and it looks like they're farming for God's sakes. But in reality, they did that 10 years ago or something. And you don't know, right? You don't know. You don't know. One male started going between my legs to get the feed bucket. I almost got to fly. Wow. Wow. Yeah, they like trees, hey? Banty chickens and turkeys. They all head to the trees, but any chicken will go up in a tree. But chickens like it up high, especially when raccoons are about. Raccoon will take out a lot of chickens. They're just malicious, but that link is legit. Checked it out. Oh yeah. Pest Hunter's a very good channel. Yeah, I learned a lot from the video. I bet you did, Pest Hunter. I'm going to be watching that. Hey, David, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yep. And saying hello to Fifi. Yes, they love roosting both chickens and turkeys. Yeah, yeah, off the ground where they feel safe. So putting a little shelter underneath, in the canopy where they can go underneath is something you want to think about. Wild Edibles and David Corey with Crop. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Good Eats is saying hello to David, and David saying hello to Pest Hunter. Yeah, Pest Hunter's pretty cool channel. Goes to Collins a lot. This other channel, he's a Bowman. Pest Hunter is a nickname that I was given to me almost 2 decades ago. Well, Pest Hunter is good. You're hunting pest. Yep. Yep. But what you're doing now counts. What you did before, forget about it. What you want to do in the future and dream about, well, you do it now. That's what you're doing today and this week coming up to improve your food, your health, and your living condition. Yep. Mother Earth say, okay, hello. I am. Please remember to hit the like button. Well, thank you kindly for hitting the like button while you're here on your way in or you're watching it on Team Replay. I'm not really a sub for sub channel, but if they come over here and they want to do that, there's people in other countries that don't have a lot. So I don't discourage it. I don't get involved with it. But if someone came in and said, oh, I did this and said hello, okay, great. I'll say hello back. But I'm not a promoter of that. And it slowed way down after I said that a couple of live streams ago. But everybody in here, I think, is all here for learning and social life activities, that kind of thing, learning new food growing technique or good information if it can hurt or be passed on. But on a more serious note, I have to go soon. I'm digging sunchokes, and y'all take care. It was a pleasure to see you. Morning chat, community learning. Oh, hang on. It's only 6 o'clock. I thought it was 7. I don't have to go anywhere. I thought it was 7. I'm like, but it's only 6. Good vibes always in here. Thanks. Oh, yeah. That's all there is. If you don't get a bad vibration, don't hang around there. Love. It's 8:12 here. Yeah, it's 6:12. So you're 2 hours ahead of me. I thought for some reason it was 7 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, past the 7, dude. So yeah. I thought it was 7 because I'm doing the sunchokes today and I'm doing some measurements and I'm removing a couple of, well, I've got some help too. I'm moving the roses because I have to move them over to put the greenhouse there, just a hoop house. I'm not even going to heat it. Well, maybe I'll put an electric heater there or something. Just because I have to grow these flowers for a wedding. I agreed to do it for a friend of a family too. But yeah, it's going to require a bit of my time. I'm like, sheesh, you know. But the thing is, after my fishing trip, I'm going to a wedding at a hotel on the West Coast. It's the biggest hotel on the West Coast. It ain't cheap to stay there, but I don't even have to pay. I get several days there for free. And I'm like, wow. And it's the height of salmon season too. And I'm like, well, I can't really turn that down. She's starting to come to Sharky instead of Holly. I have to be careful. I watched your cats all sleeping snugly there. It was pretty cute. I like your dog videos as well. But puff, pass the salmon. I can't do that. Now I'm all twitching to get out there with my headlamp and start digging the sunchokes. So I have these milk crates. They're perfect. You fill them up a little bit, then you hit them with the hose, washes all the stuff off. And then you throw that into another bucket and fill it up again and throw that in. You don't fill it all the way up and try to get the soil out of it, about halfway or a third. I have heaters and C9 incandescent Christmas lights in the greenhouse. Yeah, those work really well. That's exciting. I hope you enjoy your time, Howie. Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing some fishing over there, salmon fishing, and that'll be of the big springs. I'll be allowed 2 of those. Well, hopefully, and then any of the cohos that are hatchery with the adipose fin missing, I could take them. And I'm allowed sea bass, lingcod, and halibut. So I'm there for 3 paid days. I'm like, everything's paid for, and I'm like, okay. So then what I did is I hooked up with some people that own large amount of property there. And then before I go for those 3 days, I can go there and go fishing with the locals there as well. So I've got my main guy running back my seafood because you're only allowed so much in your possession. Then you have to get rid of it, unless you've got a gift, somebody give you a gift, right? But still, again, you're only allowed to have so much in your possession. And that's key with the seafood or fresh water here. You're only allowed like a 2-day catch in your possession, right? But if you get rid of it and bring it home, you can go fishing again. And that's the whole idea. So, you know, you don't want to lose your vehicle and your house getting raided and shit like that. And that happens. That there's no, yeah, there's a lot of illegal crabbers here. They don't put a float on, hey, they just put the crab trap down and they just come along with a hook and pick it up and bring it up. Or the scuba diver goes down and just takes what he wants, like sea urchins to sea cucumbers to abalone, whatever the hell they're doing. And they can go through an area pretty fast, I'll tell you. Yeah. I would love to give salmon fishing. I watched a lot of footage on National Geographic Explorer on fishing and hunting in places like Alaska. Yeah, yeah, all along British Columbia from July on. July on, you can get sockeye, you can get cohos, springs, the big king silver ones, and even wild or farm ones that escape. You can catch those. It's pretty, use a really thin leader line if you're salmon fishing. They got good eyes. Shore lunch, yeah, I've had a few of those over my life. Alaska is the best place to go fishing. Yeah, well, it is and it isn't. Right? You got to know timing. Timing, if you go there before the bears, it's the bear. As soon as you go salmon fishing from land there, you got bears, you got grizz, you got competition, but it is technically the best place to go fishing. You're quite right there, good eats. You're quite right. It is a good spot, especially for halibut fishing or king fishing. And all the salmon seed, they hit there from from in the North Pacific. They come down the coast of the Pacific Northwest and then go up all the different rivers. So they go there first from the Siberian Sea to Tuktoyaktuk or wherever where you're looking at the Aleutian Islands. They start coming down through there and come down through the coast. Like there's natural winter springs already here, but the big lot of the huge fellas that live out there way out in the ocean. Yep. Yep. Well, you know what? Here they have Knights Inlet. Okay. That's about the best there is around here. Yeah. Or Fair Harbor. Fair Harbor, and you go fishing there. That's where I go, and I'm quite successful. I don't have to go all the way to Alaska because I'm successful here. And the big thing is, even if you don't catch something, you just go buy a bunch. Sometimes it's a hit or miss with schools coming by. You have to intercept them. It's like a football game. You got to watch for jumpers. So then you got to get in front of them. So that's early in the morning. Generally, they're up on the surface like that. And then as the day, they go down. Okay, so you got to go down like 120 feet and with a downrigger and get them because you're just not up top. You're not allowed to use live bait here. One time you could and lure them in pretty good, but rules have just been tossed. No more live bait. Yeah, down to San Francisco, they catch big kings. Oh, yeah, I've seen that under the bridge there. Yeah, Pest Hunter, you're absolutely right. When I was in British Columbia, I didn't fish. I was by a river, but no live bait and no barb on your hook. I can't catch a fish like that without life experience doing that. Well, what it is the very tip of the hook, the pointy part, you bend it just slightly, but you have to get rid of the barb. So you just bend the top of the hook a little tiny bit. There's ways around that, bulls. I used to catch salmon on the American River in California. Oh, yeah. Down south, there's lots of salmon going up creeks and not much water. Yep. Fifi says, I can salmon fish here in Maine or other places in New England, but I want the Alaskan experience. Yeah. Well, mostly that's fly fishing where you are. They fish with flies. That's mostly on the Atlantic side. That was way back in 95. Yeah, things have changed. Like steelheading's on right now. There's 4 runs of steelhead over the 12-month period. So a lot of them have been decimated, but there's like a few rivers where the 4 runs of steelhead are still going. You can go there pretty much any time of year, catch giant rainbows from the ocean, and cutties too, and cutbows too. Those are delicious. Or the brown trout. And there's also bull trout like Dolly Barton here, pretty good sized ones too. And then they have a landlocked salmon here called kokanee. And when you catch them, they're not very big. They're probably a pound and less than a pound, but they are delicious. They are tasty. Yeah. Oh, you're in Massachusetts. Sorry. That was way back in 95. I usually use a J hook. They swallow them. I bet that works fine without the barb. Yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to bend that a little bit. You know, a lot of guys here when they fish on the ocean and say they get a little cod or something like that, they just drop it back down, wait a while. And big cod, because say it's like a rock cod or something, it's got all those spikes. The ling cod comes up from underneath. I actually have a video of it doing that from up on the surface. Came underneath for the attack, and they're vicious. So there's a certain way that they attack even. But a lot of people, not a lot, but quite a few will catch a small fish and just leave it. It's like they catch a little tiny trout on the rivers back east. They just leave it because then the Atlantic salmon, if it is there, is grabbing that out of aggression. You're not supposed to do it, but a lot of people do. You catch a little trout or a little salmon or a little cod, you just let it go. There's one reef here where they catch the fish, and the old timers were doing that for years. And then they go out to the second reef where all the bigger fish is, and they just have a live fish bucket with like a screen bucket inside. And those things you're not allowed to do anymore. So for years, they're like many years ago, you see all these fish buckets being given away because there's no use for them anymore. I had a fish get my fish before, usually too big, and break my line. Well, you got to take your time. Yeah, you got to take your time when you're fishing. You can't just haul in a big fish. Like when I get a big halibut on, or 6-gill shark grabs it and is towing your boat around, what are you gonna do? You're gonna try to get that in? It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. It's not gonna happen. It doesn't happen all the time. Now, see, for halibut, they come in from the deep into the shoals around March. And that's when prawn season's happening. That's when the herring are happening. And that's when the herring are really big. So it's really nice to drop a herring, like a really nice herring down on the bottom and put one of those twitchy bobbers on it where it goes down. And the weight is heavier than the bobber. So when you tap the bobber, it really affects the weight and then the bait. And so you can sit there and you're going like that. Or you can just let it sit there. It's bottom fishing. And then you see your rod going like that. And it's only on the ebb. It doesn't work on the flood here because that's usually a bad tide. It's tide sensitive here. And it's like that on the inside of the coast there. It's tide sensitive all along right to Alaska. It's tide sensitive. Alaska is a little different. They pretty much catch fish all around, but it's on the ebb. It's on the ebb and then the slack. I was bringing up the little one right before picking it out of the water. A big bass grabbed it right at the bottom and broke it right away. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a lot of action. How? Yeah. Hundreds of pounds. Oh, yeah. We'll smash that little fish. It will. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You catch small fish, just let them back in. Something's eating that guy, especially if he looks a little wounded. That really helps. Because what happens is here, the salmon go into a ball, and then the big springs and tyes and the big silver ones, they smash it like cohos. They smash it and they stun some, so they come back around. So what a lot of guys do is they cut plug on an angle like this, so that when it goes through the water, it looks like it just been smashed, and it does this. So then the big tai swings back through. Now they're all opportunistic, so they don't know if they did it or not. Like it could have been some other salmon that did it, but they're very opportunistic and will grab that wounded looking one. That's what happens here. Shawnee, good morning. Fifi says, hello. When you're fishing here, I'll never take the eyes off the water. We have alligators. I ain't fishing with you there, pest hunter outdoors. You go do some pest hunting of them alligators, then I might show up there. Yeah, well, alligators make a mess of you, that's for sure. They've been known to run off the water and grab your little doggy, and I've seen guys run into the water and wrestle it out of an alligator's mouth. So that's not for me. No. Although I have eaten alligator, it's all right. It's okay if I'm hungry. Well, but on a more serious note, there, what you're doing right now and the rest of the week counts. And I've got a list to go and do things. I'm going to try to pump out 100 or 200 pounds of sun chokes tomorrow to the food bank just to get them all out of the edge of the food forest. And then there's always ones you miss that grow back and make that nice privacy wall that you're looking for, right? But I must bid you all farewell. It was nice to have seen you all. And my day is going to be starting here in about 25 minutes, so I have to get ready. I have friends that I noticed some flashlights outside, so they're already here. They like to come and get the sunchokes early and stuff because they know what's going on with them. So yeah, take care, folks. Have a great day and keep up the fishing. Go fishing. Go crayfishing. Get your crayfish. Get your clams. Get your oysters. Get your seaweed. You take care, folks. Much love, mad respect. I'll try to get out of here. There we go. Oh, hey, anytime, Fifi. Anytime. That's all there is. Good vibrations. Everybody take care. Peace and love. I'll try to get out of here. There we go. End stream now.